And so I'm going to be doing this hopefully at every meeting, kind of present a new cool hacking tool for all of us to use because we're starting to do these I think we rebranded it to be called security audits, right? We don't call them self-hacks anymore. And so from the last retrospective at the last self-hack, people were saying that they weren't sure what to do, they weren't sure what tools were available to them, and they were just kind of like just poking at endpoints, which is a good start, but I gave a presentation on Burp Suite before to the security chapter, and now I realize I probably should have given it to the entire floor. So this is me making up for that. So this is 1,000 ways to pwn Burp Suite, mapping out your HTTP attack surface. So it's just a presentation on Burp Suite. So what this is, it's an introduction to Burp Suite. It's just going to be a quick overview of the tool, and it's really just meant to be a starting point. What this presentation is not is a hacking tutorial. Unfortunately, I don't think I have enough time to show how to hack into a website. And then also, what this is not is a mandatory tool for your self-audits. Just kind of showing this as a tool that you can use for the next one. So what is Burp Suite? Burp Suite is a collection of different, I didn't even start my timer myself. Whoops. Guess I only got an extra minute. So Burp Suite is a set of modules or tools collected together in an application called Burp Suite. So you'll see that we have different things called proxy module, decoders, spiders, scanners, sequencers, and repeaters. And so you can actually have each one of these tools by themselves, but Burp Suite's awesome because it kind of collects them all together for you so that you don't have to bounce back and forth between different apps. So the tools I'm going to be using in this presentation are Burp Suite. Obviously, I'm going to use a web browser, and then also this extension called Foxy Proxy. Not sure if any of you guys are paying attention or noticed the Internet Explorer.
I was going to ask.
Yeah, yeah. Don't use Internet Explorer. Use something like Chrome or Firefox, just to see if you guys are paying attention.
It's not even Edge.
Yeah.
Just leave shit out of here.
So the very first one is called the proxy module /target. So it's a tab in Burp Suite, and it's used for analyzing HTTP and HTTPS requests or manually building out sitemaps. And so a quick overview of how this works is we have a web browser, and I have a little server there. Let's represent that as a Google server. In the middle, we have a proxy server that we set up. And so the way that works is you're basically setting up a man-in-the-middle attack on yourself or the browser that you have set up. And so all of the traffic that you're going to be requesting from this server is going to be going through this proxy server in the middle, and that's Burp Suite. And so what the idea is, you're going to be looking at each packet as it goes through, kind of log it, record it, kind of see what you can make out of it, and lets you do things like use intruders to try to break into websites. You can use the sequencer to repeat, or repeaters to repeat different requests, kind of like get a landscape of the entire app that you're attacking. So this works great for HTTP, but because it's unencrypted. But if you're trying to attack HTTPS, obviously that's encrypted. So we're also going to be needing some certs here. So from on portswigger.net, you're going to want to download this Burp certificate. So the way it works is all the traffic that you're going to be sending, you're going to be encrypting it using that Burp certificate. And in the middle, Burp Suite's going to be able to unencrypt that, kind of see the packet, and then re-encrypt it with the cert from the server. And then so that's how you set up the basic man in the middle. So just trying to zoom through this because I want to make sure I have enough time for everything. Here is Burp Suite. Fire it up. Close. Open up a temporary project. Start this up. Cool. So this is Burp Suite. You'll notice that these are the different modules that we have available to us. And so I'm going to open up a browser here. And I just realized that I might lose you guys as soon as I start forwarding all of my
You're man in the middle of yourself.
I'm man in the middle of myself, exactly. So I'm using this thing. I'm using this Chrome extension called Foxy Proxy. It's also an extension for Firefox. And so the way that it works is, if you go to Options, you can set up these different proxies. I already have one set up called Burp Suite, and so I'm going to be giving it my loopback IP address, and then I'm going to be setting it to port 8080. The reason for that is it gets set up here in Burp. We go to alerts. Yeah, proxy service started on a loopback address and then port 8080. So I want to set up all my traffic to go through here. And if I go, I wonder if it's gonna affect my network at all. Probably, but let's see. All right, so you'll notice that over here, we captured our first packet. And so right here I have this thing called intercept, and that is on, and at this point I can choose to forward or drop this packet. I'm gonna turn this off so I don't drop any of those, but if it's on, you can like inspect each one that goes by, goes through the proxy, and you can drop it or forward it. How are we doing with the internet connection? Are you guys still see my screen and everything?
So far, so good.
Cool, awesome, sweet, that's better than I thought. All right, let's go back to here. So now that I have my proxy set up, I'm going to go ahead and go to Insights app. Shout out to Insights. And you'll notice that it loaded, but if we go to Burp Suite, go to Target, you can see that we're already getting some traffic here and some of this site-mapped site built out. So as soon as I start clicking around, start going to interacting with the application, if I go to login, it'll take me to the login screen. I'll log in. Let's go back to Burp Suite. So that all this traffic is being recorded here. And so you can like look at individual packets, you can see the request, you can see the response, you can look at headers, params. A lot of text is pretty small. Okay, let's see, can I make this bigger? Shoot, no, I can't. Sorry guys, can't really see it. It's a little small, but but I'll keep going. So you'll see here we have these different sites that are associated with insights.cjpower.com. These are the different requests to different websites when I went to this site. And so you'll notice here that we have this tab called Scope. And so what I want to do, because you'll see that I also have Google Hangouts here, Google Analytics. I only care about certain sites here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right-click this. I'm going to add it to Scope. And so you'll notice here it says you have added an item to target scope. Do you want Burp to stop sending out-of-scope items to the history of other Burp, or other Burp tools? And I'm going to say yes, because I don't care about anything else besides Insights. And also, I know for a fact that this is going to be used for logging in, so I'm going to add this to scope as well. Cool. So now you'll notice that I've added these two sites to my scope.
What about Google Analytics?
Google Analytics, yeah, I can, but for this demo, I'm probably not going to be inspecting that too much. So that is the proxy module. Very simple, very easy. And if you go to HTTP history, you'll see all of our requests that you've made since I've turned on Burp Suite. There's also different options. Go ahead and play with those when you have the chance to. We have options, and you can play with WebSockets as well. So that is the first module. Now let's talk about spiders. Besides them being little cute creatures here that I'm terrified of, they are used for automating website crawling to build that sitemap. So you'll notice that I was able to build this sitemap just by clicking around. If you don't want to click around, you can also just automate this, and it's super simple. You just right-click. Let's say Insights. Here we go. Right-click and spider this host, and then as soon as this starts, just hit Submit Form. Spider. You'll see how many requests are being made, and it starts building it up even more.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. Hey, what's going on?
So you'll notice that there are more things that have been recorded. There's this library. I know for a fact that Jed Watson's being used for React libraries right now. So that could be an attack surface. If you know that it's using some deprecated libraries, you can go ahead and play around with that. Yeah, this is just a way to basically crawl a website and build out that sitemap automatically. So that's super useful. Next thing I want to talk about are scanners. So scanners are used for scanning the vulnerability for certain particular websites. And it's great because it scans for different types of vulnerabilities and it neatly displays them for you, and it really gives you just fine-grained control over which links and ports get scanned in a particular application. But also, it's not free. Unfortunately, I'm using the free version. So if I go to the scanner tool here, I don't have access to use it. But I'm sure if you guys bought it, it'd be a pretty cool tool to use. I haven't been able to use it. But yeah, you can do things like check out some cross-site scripting that might be on a particular website or the one that you're attacking. Looks like you lost. Yeah, let me try to. You guys see my screen? Does that work? No.
I can see your screen, or somebody.
No.
I don't want to see, never mind.
Guys,
That mouse being Alex's.
I can see your screen.
yeah. I'm going to go ahead and try to rejoin this. I think it's because all my traffic's being routed through that proxy, so it's. Let's try to
Probably
rejoin.
better run.
Yeah, this is why live demos are kind of hard. Nope.
No?
He was just getting to the best part.
I know. I wanted to show Intruder because that was my favorite. Come on. Alright, if I can't get this in the next, 30 seconds, maybe we should try something else. Sorry, guys.
I don't know if it was the best one.
Best one.
It was the best one.
I guess from now on we should show off the hacking tools inside of a Kali Linux VM.
Yeah, probably. It's working.
For our non-browser-based screen sharing today.
Alright, you know what? I'm just gonna turn. I'm pretty sure it's because of the proxy I set up. I'm gonna turn off the proxy for a little bit and then just continue on with the presentation. And then see if I can do some of these attacks without.
Oh, that's good.
Proxy.
We don't need the proxy anymore.
I think I captured enough. Alright, cool. Can you guys see my screen? Awesome, cool.
Yeah.
Alright. So yeah, that's scanners. Intruders is basically for brute forcing passwords and login combinations. So this is my personal favorite one, particularly because you're trying to break in to an application through the login. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to, let's see, proxy HTTP history. I'm going to try to see where I logged in here. See this. Inside staging IO. Here we go. And so you'll notice that you can also inspect the payload. I'll notice this is the username, password that I entered here. But say you weren't able to guess the password, or you didn't know the password, and you wanted to attack and try different password username combinations. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go and, just like everything else, I'm going to send this to Intruder. Sent to Intruder. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear all these submit fields. I'm just going to remove password and add that there. And if I go to payloads, so there's different options that you can set here. We have a thing called, if I go to attack type, you have sniper, battering ram, pitchfork, and cluster bomb. And so what sniper is it'll just go through the list of different passwords that you have set in, it'll try each one. Battering ram, you can provide it a dictionary. You can download dictionaries and basically try to see if any of those work and try different combinations from different passwords. And then pitchfork and cluster bomb, kind of the same thing. It tries just like different combinations of passwords from a list. So if you wanted to try to pen two different words together, or like add in numbers or special characters in between them, you can do that. So you can play with that. But I'm going to show here in payload. Let's say here if I had a dictionary and I just imported a bunch of different passwords, like password, and then I tried other password, or tried something else. And then somewhere within that dictionary that downloaded was the actual password. And then another wrong password. If I do start attack with the sniper, a little pop-up should...
Useful dictionaries are available on GitHub.
Yes. So you notice it's going through each one of these passwords, and these all pretty much look the same, except once we get to the actual password, the length is a bit different. And so that might kind of show you like, hey, that might be a password that might be valid. So you can go ahead and play with that. So that's intruder.
What does it mean by length? What length is it reporting?
So the length is the number of bytes
Okay.
in the response. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
And then we have. How am I doing on time?
You're doing fine. This is interesting.
Repeater. So repeaters are for single request parameter changes. So if I wanted to repeat the same request, but maybe like with a different parameter, let's just choose a random one here, like okay, let's just try this. I'm going to send this to repeater, and then again you'll notice that we get a little notification here, and if I hit go, you'll see this is the response. We hear error authorization header required, but if I go to headers and I change something else, like let's say I change, this is a bad example, but let's say I change my get to a different endpoint. I hit go. You'll notice I have a different response. So this is just a way to basically play with different requests that you want to make with different parameter changes. Out of time, but and sequencers are just basically used for detecting randomness of tokens and session IDs. Pretty straightforward. I haven't really played with this too much, but definitely play with it if you have the time. And then decoder is just a tool used for encoding and decoding hashes. Like you can just find some tools online, but this is just a convenient app that lets you do it within an application. So if I did like hello world and I want to encode as, let's say, hex. Oops. You'll see that encoded it, or if I wanted to encode it as base 64, right? So it's just, these are tools that you can just find online very easily, but it comes nicely packaged within Burp Suite. And so that's basically all the tools that are within Burp Suite. It can do so much more. You can like import different modules that are super helpful. Like at DEF CON, like there were a few talks that were specifically on just Burp Suite modules that you can download and are open source and use. I highly recommend at least trying it out for the next self-hack or security audit, and hopefully that should give you guys good. Oh yeah, and there's also compare, which is just basically comparing two different requests and responses. Yeah, any questions?